All right. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Looking at the chat, see some more people filtering in little by little. Welcome, my friends, to the second iteration of my new live storytelling format. So just like before, I'll be doing a live story reading followed by an on-camera discussion of the events and their implications. However, I have a special treat for you today, because my friend Swamp Dweller has kindly offered to collaborate. After my story, you'll be hearing one read by him as well, and I'll be discussing both with you in the chat afterward. If you're tuning in after the fact, make sure you leave your questions and comments in the comment section down below as well. If you're here with me now, thanks for joining me and welcome. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to be here with me. I'll try to greet each and every one of you personally after the story. Don't forget to like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on what I have coming down the pipeline. Like I said before, got some pretty interesting things coming up on this channel. Some really good stories as well, as I'm sure you've come to expect. So, discussions to follow. Stick around if you want to participate. And without further ado, here is story 1 of tonight's ghost stories. Dear Mr. X, my name is Asia. I've been putting off sharing this story for a while. I decided to finally reach out to you because I feel that, if anything, it may give people out there a glimpse into the paranormal, the hidden world that is yet unexplained. Here goes. Ever since I was a child, I've experienced a world a bit differently than that of the people around me. For example, once I was old enough to bathe by myself, my mother used to leave me in the bathroom with the door open. Almost every time, these two unusually small people would come to the door and peer in at me, asking if I was okay. I call them people, but they were actually only vaguely human. They had humanoid proportions and shape, but were only about as tall as a bar stool. Their faces were always blurry, and I couldn't make out any of their features. Still, I somehow knew that they were genuinely happy to see me. I always smiled at them, getting this unmistakable feeling of how much they loved and cared for me. I would answer them, "Yes, I'm fine," and they would say goodbye and fade away into thin air until my next bath. One day when I was about 6 years old, it dawned on me that the two bath time visitors were not actually human. The next time I saw them in my doorway, I felt terror instead of happiness. They definitely picked up on that because they quickly disappeared and never showed themselves to me again. I've always regretted scaring them away. I wonder if they were some sort of spiritual guardians I was lucky enough to be able to see. After they left, I began having nightmares. I saw death, blood, and demonic entities and all kinds of terrifying things. I would hear taunting voices whispering my name at night, presences in my bedroom watching me sleep. When I was 7, my mom moved us into a house in the suburbs. That was where the most intense of my experiences took place. My mother and brother never believed me when I said there was something wrong with our house. The only person who took me seriously was my cousin. She would come by to sleep over every so often, and would never leave my side while she was there. I remember one night she asked me to go with her to the bathroom and wait while she showered, because she didn't feel comfortable being alone. "Something is wrong with your house," she said. It was reassuring to know that I wasn't the only one who felt this way, but at the same time, it was a bit depressing to know that I was the one living there full time. Since my mother worked late, and my brother spent most of his time at his friend's house, I was alone usually at home, after school until dark. I would often keep myself busy by doing chores. One day I was washing the dishes in the kitchen when I decided to pop a movie into the VCR so I could watch while I worked. Out of nowhere, I was hit by a sense of overwhelming dread that fell over my body like a wet blanket. I tried to ignore it, but I still had the nagging feeling that as soon as I pressed the play button, I would be trapped in darkness. I pressed it, and all the lights flickered out. My whole house. My body went into autopilot, scrambling to grab my dog and cat and get upstairs to my mother's room. I stayed there until my mom got home. Over the years we lived in that house, I heard voices, footsteps, doors opening on their own, and more, but nothing more intense than what I saw shortly before we finally moved out. I was 13 and trying to fall asleep in my mother's bed. She had a ceiling fan directly above it. For some reason, it always captivated my attention. One day as I stared at the fan, I noticed something drip down from the center. It was like a shiny, wet black tar. The material lowered itself toward the bed, but stopped and formed a pool in midair, suspended above me. The pool began to take a sort of oval shape, as more and more of the black substance flowed into it. Before long, 2 spaces in the mass opened up, giving the appearance of snake-like eyes and revealing a gleaming yellow light that was almost painful to look at in the dark. Soon afterward, a curled crescent of jagged teeth appeared on the mass, resembling some kind of hideous mimicry of a smile. I was so frightened I couldn't move. All I could do was watch this entity move closer and closer to me. I told myself I was dreaming, but at the same time I knew that what I was seeing was real. The thing was only inches away from my face when I finally was able to react and call out to my mother. She was a super heavy sleeper, so all she could do was mumble out, asking me what was wrong. I was sobbing incoherently about the ceiling fan. I could tell she was annoyed as she reached over and flipped the switch, turning the fan on. I watched as the demonic mass was flung down to the floor and out of my sight. I stayed awake for hours waiting for it to crawl up the side of the bed and murder me, but it never did. I never saw the entity again. That was over 13 years ago. I've dealt with so many paranormal events since then, like being tortured by the spirit of my wife's abusive ex-girlfriend. But those are stories for another day. Thanks for listening. Sincerely, Asia. All right, my friends. Next up, we have a fantastic, interesting ghost-related story read by my friend Swamp Dweller, who happens to be in the chat at this very moment. Everybody say hi, please. And listen. After this, we'll talk about both stories.
Dear Mr. X, my name is Tyler, and I wanted to share my haunting experience with you. I've had many different paranormal events happen to me, but this one definitely stands out among them. I've always had a sort of hyper-awareness of other worlds being layered with our own, for lack of a better term. Because of this sight, as I call it, I've been troubled with insomnia most of my life. This happened back when I was about 17. My girlfriend and I had just moved into a small house together. We were in bed one night, and I let my mental guard down as I was finally beginning to drift off to sleep. I was in that moment where you're somehow both asleep and awake at once. Those who have experience with sleep paralysis know this feeling very well. I was just about to close my eyes when I felt something step into the doorway of the bedroom. I was too far gone to be able to look up and see what it was, but I could sense it vividly. It was a male, or masculine being. Its essence was full of intensity and pure malice. It struck me with a deep, primal fear as I realized what was happening. I knew that this entity meant me harm, that it was not human. I also knew it wasn't a dream. This was real. I felt the negative energy radiating from it as it seemed to float across my room, stopping near the foot of my bed. Still unable to move, questions raced through my mind. Who are you? What do you want with me? It stood there, suspended in time and space, staring at me in absolute silence. On my tongue and in my nostrils, I could taste the evil and smell the hatred coming from this being. I don't know how else to explain this experience. It slowly moved in my field of vision, but I could still barely make out a single feature of its form. As if it was enveloped in darkness, it simply peered over me with violent intent. Everything about the situation screamed, "This thing wants to kill me," but I somehow knew it could not. It was really just there to make me feel this unbelievable level of fear. It raised a part of itself which looked like an arm, before slamming it down into my gut, striking so hard it took the wind out of my lungs. The pain and shock of the attack snapped me out of my paralysis, and I jumped up as quickly as I could. I was out of my mind with terror, and reached out to my girlfriend to wake her. I yelled her name and even shook her, but she just wouldn't wake up. I felt like I was somehow out of a phase with her reality, and she couldn't hear me. I struggled to wake her for what seemed like forever. I eventually collapsed in exhaustion and fell asleep. When I awoke in the morning, I had bruises on my stomach and face, and my girlfriend wouldn't believe a word I said. That's where my story ends. Just one of my many, many experiences with things I struggle to reconcile with reality as I know it. Please let me know what you think about this. Anyways, thanks for listening, Mr. X. Tyler.
All right. Let's get this camera going. All right. Hey there, my friends. Mr. X Dreams here. Your boy, of course. Before I get into these stories, I want to give a big thanks and shout out to my man Swamp Dweller for a pretty quick turnaround. One of the fastest I've ever had, getting that story back to me nice and clean. Doing a great job with the reading. Very much appreciated. If you guys, in a little bit actually, maybe I think in about 45 minutes, he's going to have the other half of our collab posted over on his channel, which will be linked as soon as possible in the comments of this video. So make sure you guys check that out as soon as you're done over here. So, as you guys might know, before we get into the discussion, this is the first of the second video of the live readings. I probably could have used a little bit more warming up. I made a few more errors that I consider acceptable, but hope you guys were able to bear with me on that. I'm looking at the chat right now. I want to start greeting everybody. But yeah, kind of fiddling with all these settings and trying to figure out how to get my soundboard working, and later on I'm going to have more special effects and more sound effects and things like that to amplify the experience of the stories. And it's going pretty good so far. So, who do we have here? 53 viewers. That's pretty good. I'm happy. We got Ice Cube. Hello there, my friend. The faithful moderator. Lisa, Zen, Swamp Dweller in the house. Master Panda, Tom, Adi, Jessica. Hello there. Got Ellen Garcia. Element 115. Lady Ryder, Rob, Belize, Lady Ryder again. Amzikins, another lovely, lovely dreamer and a faithful, effective moderator. Got Stacy. Let's see, who else? Kimberly, Axeman in the house. Ingrid, Rawati, Lee Underhill, the Passport Club, Ophelia Noctis, Yvonne Sky, Larry and Candace. Hello there. Larry and Candace, that sounds familiar. Gonna have to visit your channel to see if I know you more than I think I do. I'm pretty sure I've seen you guys somewhere before. Maybe you know me. Maybe even in real life. If that's the case, don't tell these people what my real name is. Midnighter Tales, hello there, my friend. Silver Bridges, Ebola, same, Zucker, GTO, all right. Obsidian Flame, Low Lightning. A lot of regulars up in here today. Gloria A. Man, I am parched. Must not have been hydrating enough today. Lady Thronduil. That sounds like a really epic name. Are you from Lord of the Rings? Cindy. Hello there, my friend. Scarlet Witch. Hello. Juan Castillo. And I'm almost at the end. Almost there. Almost there. Shannon Hall. Darcy Smith. Kat Torp. I think you're already gone. Jack Griffin. Remember, I'm always watching. Roger that, Jack. Thomas Toland. Hello there, my friend. That sounds like a new name. LKC Lifer. No Face 678. And I'm almost getting there. All right. Rooster Cogwell. Hello there. Everybody in the chat right now and everybody outside the chat who's just hanging out, listening to the show. Welcome. Greetings. Glad to have you all here, and hope you're all having a great day, and I hope you're ready for a great weekend, because I don't know about you guys, but I've got Monday off, so it's going to be a really good one. When's the last time I talked to DW? Not too long ago. He texted me the other day. We had a little chat real quick. Yeah. Ophelia Noctis, you changed your name. Who were you before? You must tell me. Ellen Garcia, a.k.a. Snips, if I'm not mistaken. Love being here. Well, I love having you here. Very nice. All right, folks, so we got two stories here. Very interesting concepts. Okay, you're Gina Damon. All right. I remember. Will I collaborate with Mr. Davis anytime? I'm always down to collab with Mr. Davis, and he's usually pretty much the same, feels the same way about me for the most part. He's such a busy guy, though. I don't even want to try to interject myself into his schedule, but he and I, we still talk and everything. I used to kind of do my Unknown Cryptid series with Mr. Davis, and I even designed one of his logos for him as a favor. And yeah, super cool guy. And he's getting into true crime these days. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting. And his dedication to that channel is unreal. Jack Griffin, 69 Chevelle. Is that the whip that you're rocking, Jack? That's a good one. My dad actually had that car a long time ago when I was a little boy. I have a special connection to that in my heart. Ambria Ray. What logo did I design? The one it's an MR with vines on it, and then there's like kind of a faded owl skull in the background. That's the one I did for him. We kind of discussed the concept together, and then I went into Photoshop, threw it together, and so it worked. It was working out for him for a while, you know. But you got to change it up every once in a while. I changed up my my stuff. Oh snap, man! You know what? I just realized I'm not rocking my own merch. Give me 1 minute. Obviously, I don't want to subject you guys to me having to change my shirt over here. But I do have to remedy this situation. And we're back. And I'm wearing the shirt that I had meant to wear. I changed into a regular shirt because I was given the task of cooking some chicken, and I did not want to get this shirt all dirty and chicken smelling, so had to switch out for a random regular shirt for my closet. Cat Torp, no, I do not design for a living, but I do design occasionally. Gotta shamelessly promote. That is right. My Mr. X Dreams store, teespring.com/stores/Mr. X Dreams store. Feel free to go pick something up from there if you ever feel like representing the dreamers out there in the world. Dope shirts, very good quality, and top-notch design, if I do say so myself. So, first up, we got Asia's Story. And one thing I've noticed in a lot of these stories, a common theme is people, when they say that they experience things, they experience the world a little bit differently, or they have some kind of access to another layer of reality that most of us do not. And usually, in my experience, they tell me that that's been the case since they were little children. It's like a thing that people are born with, or maybe everyone's born with it, but not everyone maintains that connection to the... Oh, snap. Got our first donation of the night, my friends. Leanne. Hi, Mr. X. Can't stay, just showing my support. Catch up with your vid later. Thank you so much, Leanne. I very much appreciate that. It's always nice. Not required, of course. Just you dreamers being here and hanging out with me is enough support for me. But when you guys go above and beyond and throw a couple of dollars at your boy, I gotta show some love. So thank you guys very much, Leanne, for that. Very much appreciated. Okay, Snips, you gotta go as well. I know it's getting a little late. Good night, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. So, one thing I found interesting about Asia's story was the small, vaguely human or humanoid people that she spoke about. She said they were only about as tall as a bar stool. So I assume, 3 to 4 feet tall. Probably the same height as she was at the age where you're first able to bathe yourself, which is probably 6 or 7 years old, if that. And yeah, maybe even younger. And that's something I've never really heard of before. I might have to talk to my friend, the scary fairy godmother, or someone who has a little bit more experience with the fae mythology surrounding those creatures, because I wonder if that might be something relatable to this. Jessica, $15. Thank you so much. You are awesome. And you are a repeat offender as well, Jessica. So the kind of repeat offender that I like, and that it's welcomed, and I very much appreciate that. And just so you guys know, if you do a super chat and you include a message text, if it's not something that's crazy inappropriate or anything, I'll read the text out if there's anything specific you want me to say or you want to hear me say. So have at it. And now that I said that, hopefully nobody takes that a little bit too far and does something crazy. So within the context of this story, it seems like Asia might have been guarded or protected by these two small entities. Very interesting, because once she was old enough to consider what they really were, and that caused her to react towards them with fear, they were basically, I don't know if they were scared away completely, or if maybe they didn't even really realize what benefits their presence were giving her, because it seemed like they just didn't want to stress her out or cause her to have fear. So they just vanished. And it was after that point that things kind of started to be more tumultuous in Asia's life, especially in her dreams. All right, Brad, I'll see you later then, my friend. GTO, hi from the Lone Star State. Greetings, my old friend. GTO's been with me for quite a bit. One of the OG ride or die dreamers. So yeah, I thought that was very interesting, because I've never heard of that specific description of any creatures. Seem to be somewhat physical. Very small stature with blurred faces. Very odd. And also very, very odd for a little child, probably barely older than a toddler, to be able to remember that. Now, let's see here. I've been in my share of houses where I did not feel comfortable bathing. I don't know about you guys, but if you're in a place that already has established that it's creepy to you, and you know that you're going to have to get naked, run water over yourself and your face, and at some point even close your eyes while naked in a creepy location, it's not a fun experience. So I can identify with her cousin going to a strange house that's clearly got some stuff going on, and her not being entirely comfortable showering there. See, we got some new faces in here. Makiba, Mr. X, how handsome are you? I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me. Please do. Not really. Nightmare Files, greetings, my friend. Dark Waters in the house, as usual. Hello there, my friend. Somebody was just asking me about you. Let's see here. Mia. Hello there. You said hi, Mr. X. I'm saying hi to you. Lex Acosta. Hello there, my friend. Lipstick Lisa. Hello. All right. All right. That's sweet. I appreciate your compliments to all those who did so. Ingrid, Makiba, Yvonne, Donnie Kelly. Greetings, my friend. Hello there. LOA Blue. Sometimes you think it's relatives who've died. I've been talking about that and thinking about that a lot lately. I wonder if, imagine this, if you will. When you die, you're given a choice. Let's assume that you don't just rot in the ground and you're just extinguished and then you're nothing. Let's assume that there's something more to it after you die. And someone somewhere says, "Hey, you have two choices. You can move on and explore the universe or do whatever it is you want to do, or you can stay behind and do your best to look after your descendants." Which one would you choose? It's a hard decision. I was speaking about this with a dear friend of mine. Axeman Cartoons, $2. I demand you to grow a mustache. That's going to be a little more than $2, my boy, because a mustache for me is not something I'm willing to put up with for $2. You're going to have to go a little bit harder than that. You're going to have to make it rain, actually. Matter of fact, there's only one person who would actually be able to convince me to wear a mustache for any extended period of time based on her super chats, and that is linguistic. She definitely has come out of her pocket enough to be able to do that, because I can't explain to you how with my job, I know most of you don't know exactly what I do for a living, but let's just say it's one of those jobs where you have to shave every day. And in times of my life when I go extended periods of time having to shave every day, and I don't get to grow out my beard, my mustache, I actually, my skin just kind of gets sensitive over time to where when I do grow it out, say I go on vacation for 2 weeks, I'm growing it out, each individual hair is it's like a hook digging into my skin. And I don't have like baby skin on my face or anything, but I've just become hyper aware of it, and it's extremely annoying to me. So yeah, it's going to have to be you're going to have to hook it up, Axeman. Deadshot, hello there, my friend. Funny video you sent me. Were you talking to me, Deadshot? I don't remember getting any funny videos. Nathan Robinson, hello. There are a lot of cool people in this chat. You are correct. Let's see what else. And hey, if there's anybody that I haven't greeted, just let me know. Let me know, and I will greet you accordingly, because everyone here deserves to be greeted. You're here, spending your time hanging out with us, and oh no. Axeman says, I just gave you all the money I have in the world. That's don't do that. I'm doing okay. I don't want to take anybody's last $2. But I know you're joking, so. Well, actually, knowing you might be literally telling the truth right now. Hopefully not, though. Do you think these immaterial beings, Cat Torp says, do you think these immaterial beings are spiritual or solid, able to duck in and out of phase with our reality? That's an interesting question, because, and there's another story coming up really soon, maybe in the next week or two, that I'm going to discuss the idea of dimensions and things like that. The perforations and the boundaries between dimensions, from one dimension to the other. It's something I've been thinking about quite a bit lately. And with the amount of things that we know about the universe and how quantum physics work and things like that, no humble person can say that it's impossible to move between dimensions. And I think that actually would explain quite a bit of strange phenomenon that we see in the world, especially given anecdotal evidence or anecdotes from people who say they've experienced alternate realities and things like that. Very, very, very interesting concept. And super fun to discuss, in my opinion. Lee Underhill, one of my favorites on YouTube. You talking about me or Dark Waters? I'm not sure. Either way, that's good choices. I haven't collabed with Dark Waters for a long time, but we're going to figure it out. We're going to work it out one day. Let's see here. Connection isn't great, Lady Rider. All right, well, if you got to go, you got to go. You can catch us on the flip side. We'll be here. And this video will be up permanently as a normal upload after a couple hours after it's done streaming. $1,000, that's too much, GTO. I wouldn't ask for $1,000 for a mustache. What are my thoughts on quantum entanglement? I ask because I know you created it. You silly Axeman, you. All right, so let's move on. With both of these stories, and this is kind of takes the wind out of some people sometimes, but I have to be objective in some ways with this stuff. Although I know it's entertaining, it's fun to talk about, but 99% of cases of paranormal activity that I hear of, 99% of them involve the person who was almost falling asleep, or they were trying to fall asleep, or they were laying down, and something involving a bed or sleep, or them being very comfortable in that way. And that situation, with that element being in there, it almost always makes my mind go to things like sleep paralysis and dreams and nightmares. And it's not hard for your brain to convince you that something has happened, and no one can tell you otherwise. But something interesting has happened to you, something terrifying has happened, and you just you know that it's real, and you know that you weren't asleep, but it just so happened to occur when you were laying down with your eyes closed or trying to fall asleep. And I know how plausible that scenario is because I've lived it many, many times. And Rob, you asked what was my most recent encounter I had, and that's part of the last several things that have happened to me have all been related to sleep paralysis. So it's funny because that ties back into the idea that I was thinking about the other day, which is the dimensional thing. I wonder what if the gateway between dimensions is not a physical one, but one that can only be accessed through the mind. So, say for example, when you're this close to the edge, the precipice of unconsciousness or subconsciousness, what if that's the prime jumping off point? That's the prime location for you to be able to penetrate or perforate that dimensional barrier between ours and then somewhere else, the next place, the next adjacent dimension. What if that's where the shadow people and ghosts and things like that, those are just the denizens or the inhabitants of that neighboring time-space continuum, if you will. Although I'm sure I'm misusing that term. And Axeman says they also tend to happen in the dark, which the human brain is conditioned to personify nebulous details. That's correct. Your brain can fill in a lot of blanks, and if there's something that you believe is a possibility, or something that you fear is a possibility, your brain may just conjure that and give you that experience. Deadshot asks, what do you think of demons influencing our decisions, from a theological standpoint, Christian standpoint? My thoughts on that are quite complicated, but it's because I've thought a lot about that. But in my opinion, I just think the concept of demons and devils and spirits and ghosts, those are all monikers that we've given to phenomenon that we just don't understand. I don't think that any one of those particular terms that we've invented for them is an accurate description or explanation as to whatever it is actually going on, be it that there actually are some type of being that whether they're actually some type of beings responsible for these types of events, or it's some kind of construct that occurs exclusively within the human mind. And it's an interesting question, though. Donnie Kelly says you've had sleep paralysis all your life. It runs in your mom's side of the family. I've been having it. I remember having it since my teenage years. Many, many times. Yep, Donnie Kelly, you're kind of on the same page as I am right now with that. Yeah, I used to think about this a lot because I've had a lot of shadow people sightings in my family, especially on my mother's side. And I've always wondered, what if those people, those shadow people, those are just people, and from their perspective, we're the shadow people? What if they're just people that we see through the veil of another dimension? Something that whatever's separating us from them is causing, there's just that much bleed over from their dimension to where we can see a vague, shadowy form or essence of who's there. And perhaps that's what they're seeing from their perspective as well. Interesting stuff. Mia, Mr. Extremes is handsome, heart, eyes, smiley face, okay symbol. Well, you know what? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I got to watch these videos back and look at my face and see what happens to my face whenever somebody says I'm handsome or something like that. And anytime somebody gives me a compliment, I wonder if there's any kind of subtle facial reaction to that. Ingrid Curry, do you believe in heaven and hell? It's another interesting topic, but it's a little too close to the types of things that I like to avoid on this channel. Christopher London, hello there, my friend. Horror with Heidi, another good friend of mine. If you guys heard my second ASMR guided meditation type video that I did, which was a horror themed one, I think I released it around Halloween time, not sure, but Horror with Heidi played the voice of the distressed wife of the deceased man in the story. Excellent performance. One of the best performances I've ever received in a collaboration. It was fantastic. I was so happy with that. Great job with that, Heidi. Again, I don't tell you that enough. Let's see. Noctis says, less stimuli allows better tuning into other frequencies. That you might be right about that. That certainly makes sense. I mean, that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's pretty much how it works with other types of frequency reception. The fewer competing frequencies out there, like say on a radio wave, if there are two different stations broadcasting on the same frequency, you're not going to really get either one. But the more focused and direct the signal is that you're getting, the better that you'll receive it. So maybe it works the same way in higher forms of frequency transmission. Samantha, greetings, my friend. Dimensional slips. Time is like a record and it skips once in a while. That's interesting context. Because I feel like I talk about this quite often, but there have been a couple of situations in my Glitch in the Matrix series where something horrible happens and someone either almost dies or dies, and then they get popped back 2 seconds before that happened, and they're able to avoid it. But they get the full experience. One person was even hit by a car and was outside of his own body watching people try to resuscitate him in vain. And then suddenly he was kicked back to like 30 seconds beforehand. Very interesting. Rawadi says, I blush. I don't believe that. We'll see. We'll have to run the tape back on that. Lex Acosta, when I was younger, I drowned in a public pool. I didn't see anything other than a black void. Very interesting. I'd like to know more about that, Lex. If you can send me an email at mr.xdreams54@gmail.com, my link is in the description of all my videos. Please do, because I'd love to pick your brain about that. Monica Rivera, hello there, my friend. You're going to listen while you play Tomb Raider. I just purchased Tomb Raider, the second one, on Steam because it's on sale. It looks pretty cool. Pamela Rainey, did I say hello there to you? If not, hello. Nino Brown, hello, my friend. Glad to have you. Mr. Dark reads, happy Friday indeed. Axeman, you said you had a dream about something called Crazy Marshmallow Day. What does it all mean? I don't have it with me, but I do have a dream encyclopedia, which I plan on using on some Twitch streams in the future whenever I figure out how to use Twitch. And yeah, maybe that could be explained there. We'll get together offline and try to see if we can figure that out. Myriad Hesketh, is that right? Hello there, glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. Okay, I've probably got about 10-15 minutes left on this stream, but first of all, remember, go check out my collaboration with Swamp Dweller. It should be coming out actually in the next few minutes. Make sure you add that to your agenda for the night, because looks like it's going to be a really interesting video. Make sure you check that out. And also it's not out yet. It's coming out at 10 Eastern. So with Swamp Dweller's video, I'll be linking that in the description once this live video gets up. But hey, before we start to wrap things up over here, I want you guys to know I'm going to be streaming for a little bit on Twitch tonight, right after I'm done with this stream. And actually, it's going to be a few minutes after I jump off of this stream. So if you guys do Twitch, if you have a Twitch account, or if you want to just go check it out and see me bumble around trying to figure out how to use Twitch, you can go ahead and follow me over there at it's just Mr. X Dreams on Twitch. So I'm going to be playing something that I've only recently heard about, but I'm very interested in seeing because I haven't played one of these games in many years. But the Resident Evil 2 demo came out a few days ago, and I wanted to check it out. So I'm going to try to do it on Twitch, and hopefully with that, I'll be able to figure it out, and it'll be a learning experience for everybody, because I've been meaning to get into that, and there's a few things that I'd like to do on that, including some gaming. So if you guys have a Twitch account, or if you have the Twitch app or whatever, jump on there and keep me some company over there, because I'm going to be scared and alone if nobody shows up. But I'm sure a couple people will. Hopefully. It'll be totally new territory for me. I've never streamed. I've never even tried to stream on Twitch. And it's kind of intimidating looking, way more complicated than YouTube is. And I have this sneaking suspicion that I might just get fed up and give up and just go to YouTube and start streaming. But we'll see. We'll see. If anything, just go over there and give me a follow on Twitch at Mr. X Dreams. And whenever I get my stuff together, I can actually get online and start playing over there. Because one thing I've been meaning to do for quite a while is do some gaming and sort of let's play type stuff. Monica Rivera said, you'll love the game. Great storyline. Have some very interesting story. You have very interesting stories for me. Okay. Yes, Monica, do email me your stories. Just give me and this goes for everybody. Anybody who wants to send me a story, or if you know someone who has a story and you want to pass my email on to them, I'm always looking for stories, but make sure that you first email you send me, just send me a quick summary of your story, so that I can decide whether I have more questions or whether it's something that kind of fits into what I do on my channel. There's a lot of people that send me stories, and I feel so bad because they take a lot of time to type up like 9 pages of stuff that happened to them, and it just happens to not be something that really would make a good video on my channel. And I hate having to tell people that, but usually they're really good sports about it. Some people get a little upset, but I'd rather you save yourself the time and effort doing that. And Axeman, please do tell me about that dream that you had. You've got my DMs. You can do that anytime. Prep for it. Hello there, my friend. I don't think I've seen you here. Are you new, or did you change your name, or what? Love your channel. When I finally make videos, they will be about hiking, camping, etc. Have a few real creepy encounters with real crazy humans, and one that is 100% supernatural. Prep for it. Sounds like you need to send me an email. Check my description box for email address. And yeah, definitely wanna hear what you have to say. Those human stories are really interesting. Yes, Heidi, please do help me with Twitch. I'm over there. I'll be signing on there in a little bit. Margbot, hello there, my friend. On the road to Vegas. Well, you have a good time and stay safe, because we want to have you back. Okay, Lipstick Lisa, thank you for your stories and narrations. I'm so grateful to all you fab narrators. Helps more than you know. Hey, it's our pleasure. We love to do this. Well, I'll speak for myself. I love to do this, and I'm glad that you guys are here with me, hanging out and spending your time listening, even when I make mistakes while doing live readings. I appreciate it. Obsidian Flame, I believe if I had a choice in exploring the universe or watching over my loved ones, I would pick exploring the universe. I would have hopefully lived a full life on Earth and left behind some legacy. Prep for it. You've been a long-time subscriber, but the first time in chat. Well, that's great. I'm glad you took the dive, because it's fun and kind of addicting, I think, to be a part of the chat and just interact with everybody, get to know other dreamers. It's always good. I encourage it. But yeah, definitely send me some emails. Give me a summary of some of your crazy stories that you've gone through, and I'd be more than happy to check that out, because I really don't have a series of not live, but like just gritty, non-supernatural stories of things. I've had a few of them that have turned out that way, but none in a long time. I don't get a lot of those in my inbox. So anytime I see something like that, I'm certainly happy to hear about it, because those are so fascinating, and especially if you're telling me the story, that means you're alive, and that's good. So very interesting, and I'm very much looking forward to hearing about that. Obsidian Flame. Hopefully, I would have left them all, and all I know and loved. Yeah, and that's the thing. What the person I was talking to about this was saying, you would inevitably end up seeing your loved ones hurt, and you would eventually see them die if you were stuck here watching over them, which that's got to be a torturous fate. You know, hopefully maybe you can stay for 15 years and then you can go explore the universe or something, but who knows? Who knows how that works? If anybody ever dies for a week and comes back, let me know. You'll probably be the richest person on earth really soon if that happens. Rooster Cogwell, you're trying to stop spitting tobacco. You should stop that. It's a disgusting habit, and it's terrible for you. It cuts up your lip, and it leaves you with this permanent disfigurement in your gums. Being in the military, I saw a lot of people with that, and I've seen it go really bad too. Sores and stuff. There's fiberglass in that. It's really bad. Not to mention they leave bottles of nasty dip spit everywhere. Interesting, strange things happen or stories recently at my job? No, not really. I can't say as I have, GTO. Not for me. Let's see. Catching up with the chat. Samantha, maybe the draw to the world of cryptids is why it's because we, as a human race, long to see something scarier than ourselves. That's deep, Samantha. Very deep. We long to see something scarier than ourselves. I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast a while back, and he was mentioning the fact that they were discussing, I believe, mountain lions with this Australian guy. And he was talking about how most human beings don't ever encounter things that are so dangerous that it could kill them easily. Something like a lion or a tiger or a bear, gorilla, alligator. Most people go throughout their entire life without ever having a stare down face to face with an animal that could easily kill them at will. And I'd be willing to bet that the people who are fascinated with things like, most of the people who are fascinated with things like dogmen and Bigfoot and things like that, and other cryptids, they're probably among the people that have never encountered something in real life that could take their head off without a second thought. So, yeah, I think you have something there, Samantha. You certainly are on to something. Lipstick Lisa, I wish people could choose to end their lives when they want. Well, people can choose to end their lives when they want, and unfortunately, sometimes they do that. And, it's not a good outcome. It's, well, one thing that I've always thought is there's probably a way for you, and well, there is a way for you to just give up your life and just kind of, you shut your body down and just leave your body behind. I don't know about leave it behind because I'm not sure that there's anything that comes out of it, but there have been times where, say for example, someone is hit, they're shot and they think they're dying, but in reality their wound is not a fatal wound, but they think they're dying, they're so convinced that they're dying that they actually die from a non-fatal wound. People who are laying in a hospital bed and they're just so exhausted and so tired of struggling that they just give up, and then their body responds by just letting it go and they die. So in a strange way, I'm not talking about suicide. I'm talking about just mentally resigning your life, just signing it off. It does happen. It has happened, and it can happen. It probably will happen. Yeah, Axeman saying used to dip. Axeman, what did you do to help yourself quit dipping? Maybe you can help out our friend, our dreamer here, Rooster, who's trying to stop. If you can share, Axeman, how you ended up stopping that disgusting habit. Axeman asks, is it true that you once encountered a mountain lion and killed it with your voice alone? Yes, that is true. I was up in, no, it's not. I don't know where mountain lions are found. But that's an interesting story. Margbot said, boy is driving. I'm just sitting back relaxing. Well, hey, somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to kick back, I guess. Donnie Kelly, humans are the scariest of creatures. The things I've seen growing up in Detroit leave me with little fear of the paranormal. Just fascination. Definitely, understandable. Some of us have seen the worst that human beings have to offer, and it's not pleasant. And it kind of goes to the, and I'll briefly mention this and probably never again. Just like we don't need cryptids for this world to be a scary place. Just like, in my opinion, I don't know that we need demons for us to do terrible things to each other. But we don't need ghosts to terrify one another. Human beings are fascinating. We have such potential, and that potential goes in all directions. Very interesting. Bloster, hello people of the interwebs. Hello there yourself, my friend. I think I've got a few new people in here. Geez, Lipstick Lisa, you said you watched your dad and sister pass from cancer. Yeah, that's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, there's something, human beings, we think that we're so special, is the rules are different for us. The rules around putting people out of their inevitable misery are very different between humans and other animals, and who knows why that is. Maybe just our feigned empathy that we have, but I don't want to comment too much on that. Axeman says you switched to vaping. I guess that's marginally better than that's way better than dipping. Silver Bridges, Ulfric Extremes. Is Is that a Skyrim reference? And Noctis says mountains, that's where you find mountain lions. Yes. I just couldn't think of any. I had a feeling that if I said some random mountain range or something and there happened to not be mountains there, somebody was going to come up and say, well, actually, the mountain lions don't exist there. They migrated away from there 2,000 years ago or something. Spontaneous human combustion. That's something I should probably do a whole video on. That's an interesting thing. Gloria A. Your voice reminds me so much of Cyborg from Justice League. You know what? I don't remember him talking enough in that movie to have a good sense of what he sounded like. Bluster says, my opinion, if ghosts were real, I'm pretty sure that they left our world a long time ago because they were scared of us humans. Yeah, maybe they saw the Ghostbusters movie and decided that it wasn't worth it. If we can come up with that, maybe they're better off just existing in their own pocket dimension. So I realize I didn't get into commenting on Swamp Dweller's story. Well, the story that Swamp Dweller was kind enough to read for me. But again, if you recall, that story, it mostly took place when the protagonist, or the person who was telling the story, was about to drift off to sleep, and they were in bed with their mom, almost falling asleep. So, like I said, the mind is a powerful thing, and that's something that very interesting story, and it's exciting, and it's creepy and scary, but there's no reason to really. I kind of believe in the Occam's razor theory of deciding whether a story happened in reality, objectively, the way it was perceived or not. And if somebody's laying in a bed, I'll tell you right now, I'm more inclined to believe that it was a case of sleep paralysis or nightmare, something like that, rather than something actually happening that was paranormal. But I was also, well, I think I actually might have said this already, but there's always that little possibility that perhaps it's just the simple fact that when our minds are at the precipice of sleep, it's more attuned to that other place. Axeman says, it's not spontaneous combustion when X wills it to happen, and he's been known to do it. He did it to me once. I got better. I would never spontaneously combust you, Axeman. That would be bad. It just wouldn't. No, it wouldn't work out. I don't know who would do all the funny little quips in my chat anymore. Nor do I know who would do these crazy mind-bending animations that only you can do. So, yeah. By the way, I don't know where, if or Axeman, tell me. You must tell me. Do you have your animations back up on your channel yet? Because if you do, I want people to go see them. If not, it'll be a little bit more difficult for people to find them, but Axeman's animations are among the most creepy things that you can find animated online. M says, hey, Mr. X, how are you doing today, buddy? I am doing well, my friend, and I'm glad to see you here. We're just about to wrap up, and I'm going to shoot over to Twitch to attempt my first live stream there. And in the meantime, you guys can check out my collab with Swamp Dweller over on his channel. Very interesting story that I read for him over there. And the link will be in the description of this video pretty soon as I can put it in there. But just go ahead and check out his channel. If you like what you hear, give him a subscribe and let him know that I sent you. Don't forget that part, because I love going to other people's videos and seeing dreamers showing love and showing where they came from. That's always something that makes my day. Dark waters, ways to determine if it's sleep paralysis. Number 1, time of day when person is asleep. 85% of sleep paralysis happens during daytime naps. That is something I did not know, Dark waters. Thank you for that information. Because to me, every time I've had sleep paralysis, it's been during my normal sleep time. And it hasn't even been times where I was exhausted or anything like that. It was just normal going to sleep and wake up in sleep paralysis. And it's happened to me probably over a dozen times. The legendary Lurch Logan. Greetings, Mr. X. Greetings, Logan. Hello there. Lipstick Lisa, what's my favorite music artist, etc.? I never know what to say when I hear that question. One person that always pops into my mind is Mos Def whenever I get that question. So maybe that's one answer. I like a lot of old school hip hop though. Contemporary stuff. This is a group called Bonobo that I love. Some of the most relaxing, mesmerizing music. Bonobo, the album is called Black Sands. Very good. Go to Axeman Cartoons channel. Make sure you let him know I sent you, and check out pretty much any finished work that he has on there, any finished titled video, and you'll see what I mean about how insane his style is. Samantha says, sleep paralysis. I do think being on the edge of the waking and sleeping mind, the third eye might be opening, and that's why you see things that aren't meant to be in the waking world. Yep, that's an interesting way to look at it. Matthew Kilfoyle, hello there, my friend. Markbot says, best of luck on Twitch. Thank you. Thank you. Emily Harrison, what's my Twitch? It's Mr. X Dreams. That's keeping it simple. And Silver Bridges, thank you very much for coming in on that. And letting Emily know the deal. Yep. Darkwater says also the majority of people encounter when sleeping on their backs. Even though I always sleep on my left side, sleep paralysis, most of the time I sleep on my back. I happen to be on my back by the time it happens. And super unnerving. Fabian Rodriguez, hello there, my friend. People Under the Stairs, another good one. Tribe Called Quest, Jurassic 5. Was that one of those was your stories? Oh, these people, you guys with your YouTube account names are so crazy. I can never tell who's who. And people change their names on the drop of a hat too. Nightmare Files, when did I first show my face on camera? Sometime last year. I don't remember what it was or why, but I think it was I did an active shooter awareness video. And I think that was the first time I did it. Fuji's, that's another good one. No, I'm not on Facebook. I used to be, but can I kick it? Yes, you can. Yes, you can indeed. See, I knew I liked you guys. This is a good group tonight. Isn't a question of when he first showed his face on camera. He visited us all long before he ever even set foot on Twitter in our dreams, warning us of his arrival. A lot of people have said to me over the years that they've seen me in their dreams. And that's always interesting. And as many of you might not know, this channel started out with my dreams and my nightmares. That was the whole gist of the channel back in the day. But yeah, it's come a long way since then. It was like my first 5 videos were all about my dreams. And now those are kind of a far in the past. So what I was going to do with Twitch is go back to those old dreams. I have so many of them, a lot of material there, and you can probably get a pretty good look into my psyche throughout the course of my life by looking at those dreams. So I was planning on that being one of my series that I do on Twitch, which is reading those old dreams as a story, and then taking the dream dictionary, and trying to kind of break them down a little bit. Werewolf, hello there, my friend. I'm glad to see your face. I love your channel. Well, thank you. I love that you love my channel. Nightmare Files, I'm more of a Mobb Deep and Nas type of guy for old school. Nas, I'm down with Nas for sure. Mobb Deep I never really got into. Are my eyes blue or brown? They're kind of green with, believe it or not, kind of an orange ring in it. And then there's like brown speckles in it as well. My eyes are very strange. Gloria, you know what? It's funny you ask this. Gloria A asks, have you ever had a dream of someone and then they have the same dream as well? Yes. I had a dream where I was in a certain environment and a specific thing was happening, and there was a building and a tree and a huge crowd of people. And then my cousin called me the next day and told me that she was in that same environment, but on the other side of the giant crowd of people, and that I came and I grabbed her and I was trying to talk to her, but she couldn't hear me, and then everything turned white. And my theory was that she came into the dream as I was exiting that dream. And I talked about this in more detail in another video a while back, but it was really, really freaky. And I purposefully, when I was talking to her, I asked her to give me the details, and she told me, yeah, it was this huge building, and there was a giant tree, and there was a huge crowd of people. And I was like, holy moly, that's crazy. We had a kind of a shared dream. All right, my friends, like I said, number 1. Whoa, Regina Brown. Hello there, my friend. Sorry, I'm about to jump off of here, but if you do have a Twitch, I'm going to try to jump on there for a stream and play this Resident Evil 2 demo for a little bit. And my Twitch is Mr. X Dreams. And everybody, I want you guys all to go over to Swamp Dweller's channel and make sure you check out our collab. It should have just dropped at 25 minutes ago. Check him out over there as well. Maybe by the time you're done with that, I'll be up and running on Twitch. So that would be cool. Thank you guys all for hanging out. Thank you for spending time with me, and especially for the donations. Everybody who donated, thank you guys so much. Very much appreciated. I love all you guys. I don't really know what else to say. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you. I love the love, the support. Twitch, my Twitch, it should just say you should just go to twitch.com/MrXDreams, no spaces. No spaces, it's all one word. I should say that. Mr. X Dreams, all one word. But yeah, love you guys. Hope you have a great weekend. Stay safe. And don't be a stranger. Keep up with me. So, my friends, as always, I'm Mr. X, and may your nights be full of dreams. Good night. Also, real quick, we need a code word. Code word. Let's see. How about the word dimension? Yeah, we talked about different dimensions a lot. If you made it all the way here to the end of the video, type the word dimension into a comment down below in the comments section of the video. Work that in. That'll confuse a couple of people, and I like doing that. It's nice to sow a little bit of confusion once in a while, a little harmless confusion. Why not? Not gonna do blood nipples. No. Sorry, Axeman. Holy crap, Ingrid, you were run over by an 18-wheeler truck? No, thank you. Glad you got through that. Okay, once again, check out Swamp Dweller's video. It's out live right now. By the time you're done with that, I'll probably be on Twitch, having figured that out. All right, my friends. Y'all take care.